My name is Ethan Crumbly, aged 15, and I'm going to be the next school shooter. I'm going to open fire on everyone in that hallway. I will try and hit as many people as I can. Unfortunately, the people I kill are the people that are killed. But it's for the right of humanity. I have a goal, and it's to kill everyone.
That was chilling, wasn't it? That was a clip from a recording that Ethan Crumbly made the night before he shot up his high school.
I'm sorry for motivating you, Mom and Dad. You have trusted me. I made sure you had trusted me, but you should know it's for a cause. And I am ruining my life and not yours.
Well, we all see how that turned out, right?
Based on the information and evidence I have received, today I am announcing charges against the shooter's parents.
You are the parents of Ethan Crumbly, is that correct?
I'm Jennifer Crumbly.
James Crumbly.
I want to talk about the first parents in America to ever be criminally charged for a mass shooting their child carried out. Now, this case is the first of its kind. This case is very interesting. Ethan was charged as an adult and not a minor. So does this mean parents can be charged for crimes committed by their adult children? I'm just curious. Meet the Crumbleys. Jennifer, James, and their teenage son, Ethan, from Michigan. Jennifer and James Crumbly have both been charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter for a crime that their son committed. The main question at trial is whether Jennifer or James could have foreseen and prevented this deadly crime. The prosecution claims that the Crumbleys ignored signs that their son was troubled and they didn't take the simple steps to have stopped the massacre from ever happening. Another issue with the case is that James Crumbly purchased the gun for Ethan at a Black Friday sale. It was an early Christmas present. They would go to the gun range together and he bought him the gun to only be used when they went to the range.
You describe it as your son's gift. Did he have free access to that gun?
No, it was for him to use at the shooting range only.
The prosecution also accused the Crumbleys of being negligent in buying a gun for Ethan, ignoring the warning signs. Now, Oakland County has a very strong gun culture.
We had late start Wednesdays, so school didn't start till 10:20ish. A reminder that sort of gets put out for students that go hunting in the mornings before the late start Wednesdays to remember to not come to school in their gear and or have weapons in their vehicles from that morning. And like we've also had students that pose with guns for their homecoming pictures as well. So it's very common in the Oxford community. It wouldn't be uncommon to see guns drawn on assignments or papers.
Jennifer Crumbly went to trial and was convicted of 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, and she is currently awaiting sentencing. She's looking at a max of 15 years per count for a maximum sentence of 60 years. James Crumbly's trial started just a few days ago. Ethan pled guilty to 1 count of terrorism causing death, 4 counts of first-degree murder, and 19 other charges. He has been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He's currently appealing his sentence. On November 30th, 2021, when Ethan Crumbly was 15 years old, he brought a gun to his high school and opened fire, killing 4 students. Madison Baldwin, 17, Tate Meir, 16, Hannah St. Juliana, 14, Justin Schilling, 17, and he injured several others, including a teacher, Molly Darnell.
You were shot that day.
I was.
Tell the jury where you were shot.
So he caught me when I'm jumping on this side. He catches me.
And there's
an entrance and an exit wound, and the line in the middle is where the bullet cauterized my flesh.
The assistant principal of Oxford High School took the stand and said that she knew Ethan from elementary school. When she heard gunshots, she walked towards them. This woman is amazing. And she found herself in the same hallway as the shooter. And when she realized who it was, this is what she had to say.
When he got closer, I realized it was Ethan, and I just thought, it couldn't be Ethan. He wouldn't do that.
A lot of evidence was presented at Jennifer Crumbly's trial. Evidence that she was unaware of, including a journal that was kept by her son and a text message thread between her son and his best friend, his only friend actually. There were 20,000 texts exchanged in less than a year's time. It is abundantly clear for anyone who reads the journal or the text messages that this kid was severely disturbed and needed urgent mental health treatment. Jennifer and James were not privy to the contents of the journal or the text messages prior to this case. Ethan had a rough year. His dog died and he was told to dispose of it.
Ethan disclosed that one of his sort of soulmate was a large dog that he had cherished, and it died at home, and he was the one tasked with having to remove it and take it back to the shed and figure out how to dispose of it.
Tell the kid to dispose of his dead dog? Who does that? His grandma passed away and his best friend moved to another state without warning. And this was all during COVID. Jennifer thought that his sadness was related to all these things that had happened. When asked on the stand if she thought her son had any mental illness, she said no.
And even though he was sad, did you feel like there was anything where he needed help or needed mental health treatment?
No.
Jennifer apparently called Ethan her oopsie baby and said he was weird.
He wasn't acting normal. She had called him weird before. She wanted him to do normal kid things. There was nothing truly positive when she was talking about him. There were quite a few times that she had voiced that he was an oopsie baby.
Here's what her lawyer, Shannon Smith, had to say about that.
If she ever told a witness, my son is weird. And part of what made me realize I could be in Mrs. Crumbly's shoes is I've sent texts to my husband saying, our daughter is a psycho today. And actually, I have an oopsie baby, my fourth one. I did not want 4 in 4 years.
Her lawyer also gives a good example of what kind of precedent this is setting, and that it could be any one of us in Jennifer Crumbly's shoes.
Can every parent really be responsible for everything their children do, especially when it's not foreseeable? So this case is a very dangerous one for parents out there. Now in my house, I don't have guns, but I do have children. My son, even though he has a cell phone, I don't go through it and look at his messages every day. If he starts receiving nude pictures of a girl on the cell phone I own but let him use and gave him for his birthday when he turned 11, should I be held accountable for receiving child pornography if a girl sexts him over some inappropriate pictures? If my son decides he's going to send some pictures back and takes a nude picture of his bits and pieces, that's a 20-year felony. Am I then responsible because he sent a picture of his penis over to some girl? So not only taking the picture, a 20-year felony, but then we've got a 7-year felony for sending it over.
Shannon Smith is something else, isn't she? After the shooting, they found Ethan's journal in the bathroom at school, and its contents were extremely alarming. Every single page of the journal talked about the school shooting.
You tell me how many of those 21 pages refer to the school shooting?
Every single one of them.
Looking at the screen, sir, can you tell us please what the defendant wrote?
I want to shoot up the fucking school so badly. I'm going to rain fucking fire down on this school. I will cause the biggest school shooting in Michigan's history. I will kill everyone I fucking see. The first victim has to be a pretty girl with a future so she can suffer just like me. I wish to hear the screams of the children as I shoot them. All I need is my 9mm pistol, which I am currently begging my dad for. Last time I had my mental breakdown, my parents were out of town. I murdered an entire family of 5 newborn baby birds. I drowned them and burned them alive while we all screamed. I cut one in half and stuck the head of its brother in its stomach. I have completely lost my shit. My grades are falling. My parents hate each other. We have no money. I have zero help for my mental problems, and it's causing me to shoot up the fucking school. This is the last passage I will write. It's currently 29/11/2021, 1:23, exactly 1 day before the shooting.
There were also a series of text messages that Ethan had exchanged with his friend.
Like I hear people talking to me and see someone in the distance. I actually asked my dad to take me to the doctor yesterday, but he just gave me some pills and told me to suck it up. Like it's at the point that I'm asking to go to the doctor. My mom laughed when I told her. I'm having bad insomnia right now and paranoia. I need help. I was thinking I calling 911 too so I could go to the hospital, but then my parents would be really pissed. I'm going to ask my parents to go to the doctors tomorrow or Tuesday again, but this time I'm going to tell them about the voices. Like I am mentally and physically dying.
On the morning of the shooting, Jennifer and James were called into the school for an emergency meeting for some very disturbing drawings that Ethan had made on his math assignment.
There's a picture of a pistol. There's an image of a body with bullet holes and bleeding from the head. Bunch of different writings reference his life is useless. The thoughts won't stop. Help me.
There is a lot of talk about how the Crumbleys declined to take Ethan home after the meeting. The counselor indicated that he needed mental health treatment, and if they could get him in to talk to someone that day, that would be ideal. Or at the very least, make an appointment. And he would be following up with the Crumbleys in 48 hours. The counselor, as well as the dean of students, did not see anything wrong with letting Ethan stay at school. Ethan said he wanted to stay. His parents said they had to go back to work. And as no one wanted him to be alone, he returned to class.
If I believed that he was a threat to people, I would have taken different actions.
There was no threat present at the time. He did not pose a threat to the school.
Families of the victims have expressed frustration that school officials have not faced the same legal consequences as the Crumbleys. Ethan got caught looking up ammunition at the school the day before the shooting. Jennifer told him via text, "Next time, don't get caught." Here she is explaining what she meant by that.
So there's an ongoing thing in our house. Someone always asked me the trouble I get in high school, so I was a little bit of a troublemaker because I always got caught. Like all my friends could be doing the same thing and I'd be the one to get caught. So I was kind of referencing to that.
He was also hallucinating, texting his mom that there's someone or something in the house, that there's demons.
These are text messages from the shooter to his mother. 7:50 p.m. Can you get home now? 7:50 p.m. There is someone in the house, I think. 7:50. Someone walked into the bathroom and flushed the toilet and left the light on. Can you get home now? And I thought it was you, but when I came out, no one was home. 7:51. A minute later, there was no one in the house, though. 8 o'clock. Dude, my door just slammed. 8:01. Maybe it's just my paranoia. 8:01. But when are you going to get home? No phone calls or texts afterwards. Finally, the next day at 10:21 a.m., the mother responds to her son. Where's your dad? Flash forward a week later, March 17th. This is the mother and father on a horse, timestamped at 6:03, exactly when he was texting her. The shooter, okay, the house is now haunted. Some weird bleep just happens and now I'm scared. I got some videos and a picture of the demon. It is throwing bowls. I'm not joking. It bleeped up the kitchen. I'm just going to be outside for a while. 6:29, can you at least text back? 2 days later, Mom, where's your dad?
When questioned about the hallucinations and the demons, this is how Jennifer responded.
It wasn't anything that was anything serious. It was Ethan just messing around.
After seeing all these journal entries and text messages, and I feel like Ethan is just pure evil. He's obsessed with torture and violence, but yet seems to desperately be crying out for help. I feel like he deliberately did things to get caught so he would not go through with it, such as looking up bullets at school, the videos of the torture and murder of people, the drawings he made on his math assignment. Look at this.
Then when I got this one and opened it, it was concerning. I honestly thought the guy on there was a poor drawing of Batman, the way the thing in the cat. I thought it was a cape. I didn't know.
You thought that was a cape?
I did. I didn't look at
What
it
did you think
closely.
of the gun?
I thought it was a gun.
What jumps out at me first and foremost are the words "help me." I feel like this alone, although there's plenty, but these two words alone should have been a huge red flag for everyone. But I guess not enough to foresee that approximately 3 hours later, he would shoot up the school. Even though everyone seemed to be concerned, were they concerned enough to recognize that Ethan needed immediate help? Or did they think it could wait a few hours and they could sit down and have a heart-to-heart with their son? Me personally, if it was my kid and they had done this drawing, regardless of if they've ever showed any signs of mental illness or distress, these two words alone would have been enough for me to pull them out of school so that we can sit down and talk about what's really going on with them and come up with a plan to get them the help they needed. No teenager cries out for help like this, and I would not be able to shake the words "help me." Clearly there's something that Ethan is struggling with. He also told a psychologist, Dr. King, that interviewed him about the gun in his backpack and how he was certain that they would check his backpack, find it, and would finally get the help he needed.
And can you explain the situation involving his backpack?
After he was called down to the office, he left his backpack in the classroom. And then he indicated that, I think it was EJAC, went to retrieve his backpack. And Ethan said, for the first time in his life, he felt relieved. He said he just knew that the sheriffs were going to burst into the office and arrest him, because there was no way, after all that they saw, that they were not going to search that backpack. When EJAC brought the backpack into the office, he made a comment. He said, "This is heavy. What do you have in here? Bricks?" And then Ethan said, all he had to do was just unzip that backpack. But he didn't.
So the backpack was not searched, correct?
It was not searched.
Staff at Oxford High School said that Ethan was an average kid with average grades, never got in trouble, he had no disciplinary history, and almost perfect attendance. I guess this kid just kind of flew under everyone's radar. During the police interview at the substation, his parents said he was a good kid and never did anything bad.
I don't think we need to have so many questions right now. Please say your story. XY. XY. I love you. I love you. I love you. Didn't even care.
When he was arrested, the only thing he had to say to his parents was, "I did it. Take care of Dexter." His only concern was that his cat was taken care of. He apparently loves his cat. He referred to his dog as his soulmate and was so distraught when the dog died. This perplexes me because on the one hand, he referred to his dog as being a soulmate, and after being arrested for a mass shooting was only concerned about his cat being taken care of. Yet on the other hand, this kid was torturing and killing baby birds and taking pleasure in it. I just don't understand. He recorded himself doing these horrific acts. The court did not allow the media to record the audio or video, thank God, of him violently massacring these birds. But he did describe the horrific details, and the way it was described is just so unsettling and just pure evil. This shows how sick this kid really is. And he says that nothing brought him joy as killing a family of baby birds. Now, how can he love his pets so much, yet torture and kill other animals? I don't get it. Here's a clip of Ethan addressing the court at his sentencing hearing.
I'd like to thank you for letting me speak, Your Honor. My actions were because of what I chose to do. I could not stop myself, but I am the one who led to why we are here today. I do not diminish any ability to anyone who could have stopped me, of anyone of a school or parents. They did not know, and I did not tell them what I plan to do, so they are not at fault of what I've done. Any sentence that they ask for, I ask that you do impose it on me, because I want them to be happy and I want them to feel secure and safe, and I do not want them to worry another day, because I really am sorry for what I've done, for what I've taken of them. I cannot give it back.
Here's some clips of like Ethan having a psychotic break in jail.
Relax. Stop it. You couldn't stop it. Yeah, but you didn't stop it.
Doctor, what did we just witness?
A child in the throes of psychosis.
There's also a lot of talk about how the gun wasn't secured and how Ethan had access to it. From my understanding, at that time in 2021, there were no safe storage laws in Michigan. Now, I'm not defending the Crumbleys. I think they dropped the ball. I think a lot of people dropped the ball. I think this kid was literally crying out for help, and his desperate pleas fell on deaf ears. But whether or not they foresaw the extent of what he was capable of, I'm not so certain. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions about the charges, the verdict, and also the national precedent that has now been set holding parents responsible for crimes committed by their children. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, practice kindness and look out for your fellow beings.